coming out here after 30 years, yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Yeah, man. So that's prison. That's just what it is, you know. And once you lock that in your mind that you know what it is and you know what you're dealing with and you know what you have to do, and then it's up to you to do it, you know. So I went on about my day, man. I worked out, you know. I went to rec when they had rec. I went out there, you know. I played basketball very rarely, but I just trained for boxing, man. I sparred a couple of dudes. I had a homie in there that I mentioned before too, named Moochie. He was super sharp, bigger than me. But I used to get a little work with him, get a little work with a couple of other dudes. And I basically stayed to myself. The dudes that I spoke to was the dudes that I dealt with as far as with working out or anything like that. Or dudes that I bought sandwiches or something for or something like that. Other than that, man, I didn't do a lot of socializing. I didn't want to know a lot of people. Consequently, a lot of dudes that I met in there, especially like younger dudes or a little bit older than me or whatever, I ended up running into years later in my bit, and you know, some of these dudes, we were lifelong friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, I ran into Tony again. That was a different story. I'll tell y'all a story about him later. But, you know, I remember dudes from them days, man. Bobby Swarford, man. Me and him ended up being, you know, lifelong friends. We ended up, you know, having some bumps and bruises in our relationships down the line, man. You know, we was cool sometimes we won't, you know, because of different circumstances, different words that was passed, different incidents. But for the most part, man, we ended up being cool, man, and friends most of our bit. I had Tony, Big Tony, that I told y'all that ended up getting out, you know, and lost his life in a big car accident and stuff with his family. But for the most part, we was cool too until we ended up on an institution where it was it was that riot thing, man. You know, that DC versus Richmond crazy foolishness. That kind of put a little rift in our relationship, man, our friendship. But we for the most part, man, we had a good relationship, man. We was cool. We understood each other. We was young. We was doing time. He was from a different part of the city where I was from. He was from Richmond, I'm from D.C., but we talked. We understood each other, man, and we was cool until that little, you know, bump in the road. But it was a couple of dudes, man. I ran into a lot of dudes that was in there with me. I ran into later on down the line in my bit. So at that time, like I say, I was forming friendships and relationships with dudes that was bonds that I didn't know just because of the environment, just because we was in the same position. We was all new. We was all learning on the fly. You know, some of those cats may have had brothers or uncles or whatever that had been through the prison system and had gave them some game and some knowledge about how to survive in here, how you carry away. I ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? I'm new, I'm fresh, and I don't know nobody. You know, so it was different, man. But, you know, like I say, I went on, man. I did my bit the way I was doing it. I was working out, man. I lived by my visits. I used to get my visits on the weekends, on Wednesdays, man. My family was coming to see me. I was married at the time. My wife was coming to see me. I see my mother, man. I see my sister, my brother. You know, friends came up, you know, because you know in your bit and your visitation, man, people missing you, so people coming to see you. So you try to live for them weekends and get to them visits, man, so you can get that energy. That energy gave you more fuel to do this time, you know, because you knew people out there still cared about you. You know, people still cared about your well-being, just to see the smiles on their face, to see them come through there in regular clothes, because now you went, you know, it just was different. I took energy from that. To eat some real food, to hear what was going on out there, to, you know, that gave you fuel, man, to make it through the rest of the week that you had to make it through back there in this zoo, this you know what I'm saying, this animal house that you had to make it through. And you didn't, even then I was wise enough to know, even young, that I didn't even want to really tell my people what was really going on, because I didn't even want them to be worried about me. I didn't want them to sit at home and be contemplating about something that they could do nothing about. You know, they could do nothing about it. So it was no need to really tell them. You know, and I just hoped and prayed that they would never get no call one day that something had happened to me, or, you know, whatever the situation may have been, man. But, you know, I was going on about my bit, man. But I can remember, you know, I had little incidents on there, man, that could have turned into major incidents, you know. But, you know, like I say, man, you know, I got through them. I got through them all. You know, uh, ask me how, I don't know. But maybe it was my willingness to go, and people knew that I was gonna go. I made that understood from the gate. I'm gonna go. If you come at me, I'm going. You know, so I can remember like one of the incidents that I had on there, man. It's like I came from the visiting room. When you go to the visiting room on there and you come back, you like I told you, the police don't come on the floor, man. They won't coming on that floor in the wall, especially when inmates was out. If it was more than 4 or 5 inmates, they ain't really coming on that floor. So when I come back from the visiting room, you know, rec won't out, but you still had about 8, 9 people out there. How they got out was whatever. They may have came out, had some type of special pass to get out, use the phone, some type of way to get out to use the shower, whatever. But you had like 8 or 9 dudes out, but rec wasn't actually out yet, so it wasn't flooded in the block. So they just opened the door to let you in the block. So I come in the block, and basically, like I said, it's just a couple of dudes out there. So I come from the block. Now, I don't know what it was or whether somebody had put the little word in, oh, this little young dude, man, he be going over the visiting room, he might get money, he might come back with food or whatever. But when I came in, I stopped and hollered at the old dude, the one that I had bought that Bethlehem from, chopped it up with him for a little bit. He on the bottom floor. So boom, I leave, I go talk to the dude, like I say, Bobby, he was a young dude on there too. Like I said, we ended up being friends later on down the line in other institutions. All the way till I got out. He actually got out, like, we was actually on the same camp on Nottoway when we got out. He actually made parole like 2 or 3 months before me. So I stopped to holler at him for a little while. Then I remember I was going up to my cell, and I just was gonna wait until they called rec or the COs come in and open the door. So I just was gonna stand in front of my cell and just chill and wait, you know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't get in. So I can remember going up to the tiers, man, and I get your 3rd tier. I could see these cats, and I felt like they was watching me. You know, you get that feeling. You can feel it. You know, so when I get all the way up, it was on the 3rd tier when I come past them on the stairway. So when I get up all the way up to the 4th tier, I go down to my cell. And I told you the dude Tony, he stayed like 2 cells from me. So I go down and holler at Tony for a little bit because, you know, I couldn't get in the cell. So when I'm talking to him and we chopping up, just talking, you know, I look down the tier. I see all 3 of these jokers standing on the end of the tier. And they looking down there. Ain't nobody on the tier but me and them. And they at the end of the tier. Now, there's only one way off this tier. And that is the way that they at. It's the stairway. The only other way off is over. Which by no circumstances am I going over there. So they standing there and they whispering and they looking at me and I'm looking at them. They looking at me and I see I'm talking to him. I keep looking at him like, man, what the, you know, and then it dawned on me. I don't know if it was my paranoia. I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if I was overreacting, but it just dawned on me. I said, man, these cats might be trying to rob me or do something to me. You see what I'm saying? So I say that to Tony. I said, man, these cats that. So Tony put his little mirror out there, like you see in the movie, put his little mirror out there where he could look down there and see who down the tier. So when he looked down there and see, he said, yeah, man, I think them dudes, some little jack boys, man, they be trying to jack dudes. That mean they be trying to rob dudes, right? So I'm like, oh yeah. So that made me like super paranoid. I mean, like super paranoid. Now, to backtrack, when I had that Bethlehem, when I got that Bethlehem, let me tell you something. I ain't go nowhere without that Bethlehem. I'm telling you right now, if I would have got caught with it, I just would have got caught with it. Even when I went to the visiting room, I used to take that Bethlehem and put it on me to go to the visiting room. But before you go to the visiting room in the wall, you had to walk through this little small tunnel that they had, and then you go around this joint and go down these stairs and go to the door. They let you in the visiting room. The police let you in. But before you go through that tunnel, they had a little flower bed right there. I used to take the knife and put it in the flower bed and push it down by the flowers and leave it right there. And before I went in there, and then when I came, because they gonna script search you when you go in the visiting room. So then when I came back, I would get it out, you know, look, make sure, and I would get it out and put it back on me. That way, when I walked through the block or walked through where the other inmates was, I always had it on me. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I had it on me. So when we up there and I'm waiting to get in my cell and he say that, man, I got super paranoid. I started fidgeting. So I'm talking to him and I'm trying to play it off. And I just take my hand and put it down in my pants and I pull it out and I start, you know, pushing it up in my sleeve. So when I push it up in my sleeve, I put my arms back up in the bars and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, man, I don't know what these jokers trying to do down here. I said, but I'm getting ready to say something to him. If they stay up here and keep on looking at me, I'm going to say something to him. He was like, don't say nothing, man. Wait to see what they do. I'm like, I ain't waiting to see nothing, man. You know, tell them what they do. I'm on this 4th tier, too. Now, if I could get on the floor, that'd be different. I felt more secure, more safe if I was on the floor. But I'm all the way up here on this 4th tier, man. And it's 3 of these jokers. And one of these jokers, man, I ran into him later on in my bit, too, man. Big Bama, man. I might do a joke on him, man. He was big, strong, country old Bama. But he was one of them that was with the dudes. So I'm like, man, these jokers get a hold of me, man. They throw me over this tier, man. And, you know, I'm a goner. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody coming to save me. Ain't nobody going to do nothing. They just going to come in later on and my body be down there and don't nobody know what happened to me. People don't know what happened to me. I'm like, nah, that ain't going to happen. So I said to myself, man, they keep on looking at me, man. I'm going to say something. So I looked down there a couple more times, man. They was still looking. They probably about 30 feet away. So, man, I just got, my anxiety was building up so much in my chest, man. So I was like, man, so I just looked down and I said, man, what's up, man? Y'all trying to holler at me or something about something? And one of the dudes, man, he was like, what? I said, man, y'all want something or something? Y'all just standing there looking at me, man. What's up? Y'all want something? So he said, man, what you talking about? So I turned and started walking in there. Now, mind you, I got this Bethlehem in my hand. It's in there, but I got my coat on, my state coat. You can't really see, but it's in my hand. So I'm started walking in there. So I'm like, what's up, man? So they said, what you want to be up? So now I know it's some type of problem no matter what it is. So I started walking in there. So they act like they was going to start walking towards me. So when they act like they was going to start walking towards me, like I say, man, I'm on this 4th tier. I'm not letting these jokers get up on me, and I'm way up here on this 4th tier, and it's 3 of them. Man, I let that joint drop out my hand, and I pull that joint out. I said, okay, let's go. And I just started charging them. When I started charging at them and they looked at my hand and seeing that joint hanging out my hand, they turned around and jet. They started running. And me, crazy as I was at the time, I started chasing them. So I'm chasing. I'm like, what's up, man? Y'all trying to do something to me? So they like, man, what you talking about? So I'm chasing and I'm chasing. So one go downstairs, the other one goes to the 3rd tier. He go down there. I started to go to him because, like I said, it ain't but one way out. So the other one run down there. So I go down to him. He go on the 2nd tier. The other dude keep on going. So I go down to the dude on the 2nd tier. I chase down on him. He turn around and get to the end of the joint and he climb over the bars and drop down on the other joint. So I got the joint in my house. Man, what's up, man? What's up? So they holler and scream, okay, we got you. Yeah, we got. So I'm tripping, right? I'm like, man, I don't even know what's going on, but all I know is something fishy. You see what I'm saying? So I go back down to the end of the tier, and I'm walking up the jump. But when I get to the top tier, I'm standing at the end because I'm like, if they try to come up, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna meet them at the door. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't getting thrown off this tier. But even if I do get thrown off this tier, somebody gonna take this Bethlehem, believe that. And the way that jump was looking, the way I described to you, yeah, I'm shooting for everything above the neck. So you not gonna survive. So I know don't nobody want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. I know they don't want it. So, man, I'm standing up there. Then we talking. Then they standing there in the bottom of the man, what you doing? Oh, okay, you pull the joint out. You try, yeah, we got you. We gonna do it. I'm like, okay, well, come on with it. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it. I'm letting you know right now. Come on with it. I don't know what y'all trying to do, man. Y'all sitting up here watching me. I don't know what you trying to do. So we having that type of conversation or whatever. They end up peeling off. Talking, all right, like, you got you. Like, they even like idle threats, like they gonna do something to me. You see what I'm saying? This even making me more paranoid. I want to try to chase him and catch him, but I know I can't. Now dudes hollering out the door, what's going on, y'all? Hey, what's going on? And they hollering at them, man, get that nigga. Get that dude. You know, so I'm like, man, this is crazy. So my adrenaline is so high that I'm like, man, I don't even know where I'm at right now, but I know if anybody come near me, man, I'm gonna light them up. I'm gonna light them up, period, point blank. So, man, we understand off. I standing there, man. I end up going back down there myself. I'm leaning in my bars, but I got the joint in my hand, and I'm just waiting for these people to come open this door. Because when I get in my cell, I'm gonna feel way more secure. I'm gonna feel way more safe. But at the same time, I'm saying in my mind, this is crazy, man. I ain't did nothing. This is what I try to tell you. You ain't did nothing to nobody. You ain't did nothing. You minding your own business. That trouble gonna find you. It's gonna find you. It's gonna come to you because somebody gonna try to try you. Somebody gonna try to take advantage of you. Somebody gonna try to take you for weak. And you gonna have to stand up when this come. Period, point blank. It ain't no other way around it. You see what I'm saying? Now I done made some enemies. These enemies, you know what I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, because when I see every one of them again, if they're in my vicinity, I'm going. I'm going because I'm not gonna sit there and wait for him to do nothing to me. I already had that mentality right now. You know what I'm saying? Fresh in my bed. Because I seen what I seen already just being here. I done seen dudes laying there in the pool of blood. I done seen dudes get killed. I done seen dudes get beat up. I done seen dudes get... I'm not gonna let that happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it can't happen to me. I'm mortal like anybody else. I'm saying if it do happen to me, you gonna know you did it. You gonna take something with it. You ain't gonna come out this unscathed, not by a mean shot, unless you get me from the back. You know, that's it. So I'm on high alert now. I'm walking around here. I'm paranoid. I'm in my cell. When the people come back, man, the officer come on the floor, tell everybody stand by your cell, man. They start popping the cell. Did they see this open? Pop such and such. Pop such and such. When everybody pop their cell and click and lock their cell back. When they know the whole cell, the block is clear, then they come in and they making their rounds. So I'm up in this joint now. And I'm locked in my cell. I got this joint on me. I'm in there. I'm pacing. I'm walking around. I'm saying to myself, man, yeah, hey, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What went on? You know what I'm saying? What were they really trying to rob me? That's what it was. Was they testing me? Was they trying me? I don't know. But all of this going through my head at the same time. But I just locked it in my mind. I said, man, cause two of them, when my block come out, when my tear come out, they come out. So I'm saying in my mind, I don't know what it was, but I know when I come up out here, if I see every one of them, I'm lighting them up. Yeah, I just locked it in my mind. If I see every one of them, I'm just gonna light them up. I don't know what they're gonna do. I ain't gonna wait for them to do nothing to me. When I see you, I'm gonna light you up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I ain't doing no talking. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just gonna try to run up on one of them when I see them. You know, but the thing is, I gotta make sure I see them before they see me, because they might got the same idea. They might got the same concept. So, you know, I remember when they opened the doors, like the next day, and our time came for the wreck. So I come out there, I got my coat on, you know what I'm saying? And contrary to probably believe it, I ain't know nothing about all that they do is make the little vest where they take all these books and tape them around them and wrap all this tape on them and make sure if they get hit or something, you know, they got these books. I ain't had none of that. I got this coat on, I got a shirt on, I got this Bethlehem in my hand. It's hanging in my arm where I could just drop it and pull it out and go when I got to go. And that's what I'm thinking, man. But I come out there, man, my eyes was everywhere. I'm looking for these cats. I'm looking for them, you know. So boom, when we get down to I get down to the bottom floor, I go over in the corner, stand at the end of the phone joint, and I'm just looking. I'm looking. So first, when I see, he's standing on the first tier, and he's standing there like he get ready to go get a shower. So he looked down at me. He see me actually before I actually see him. So when he said something, I look at him. So he was like, "What's up, Shawty? You still got some beef?" So I'm like, "What's up? I mean, what the business is?" So he tells me something. Yeah, I'm saying, man, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? You tripping, man. You come running at us for nothing, man. Ain't nobody do nothing to you, man. Ain't nobody got no beef with you. I'm like, man, y'all, yeah, okay. So boom, I started walking in the tier. But as I'm walking in the tier, he telling me, he said, man, don't come up here. I'm telling you, don't come. So I'm walking in the tier, but I'm looking for the other cat too. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, because I might walk by him. He might, you know what I'm saying, poke me up or something. So I'm walking there in that zone, and I'm going to try to go up there. I'm going to confront him. So he hardly telling me don't go up there, but he drawing attention there because people looking. So when I get up there, I'm going upstairs. When I get up to the top, the first tier, I go there in the joint, and I start walking in there where he at, in the shower in, because you can't get out. Like I said, the only way you can get out is go over the tier. The only stairs is at the end of the tier that I came up. So when he see me coming down, the tier is super long. So when he see me coming down, he climb over the rail to stand on the side, like he gonna drop down to the bottom if I come all the way down to him. So he just standing there first to wait and see if I come all the way down. So then as I'm coming down, I'm like, "What's up, man? Y'all, what y'all doing, man? Y'all act like y'all gonna do something to me, man. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing." He said, "Man, ain't nobody trying to do nothing to you, Shaw. You better go ahead on, man. Mind your business, man. You overreacted. Ain't nobody trying to do that." I said, "Man, I don't know what y'all trying to do. I'm letting you know I ain't the one." You know what I'm saying? He said, "Oh, I go ahead on about your business. Go ahead on about your business." So as I'm coming down, I'm still walking to him, but I'm walking slow. So now there's a couple of people looking at us, dudes is making comments or whatever. I ain't really like broke it out and showed it, but it's on me. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Go ahead on about your business, man. Ain't nobody got no beef with you, man. There was a misunderstanding, We trying to do something else. You got it in the way, So I'm like, "Yeah, all right, man. I'm letting y'all know, man. Don't. You know what I'm saying?" So I turn around and start going the other way. So I'm going the other way, but I'm still walking. I'm still looking for the other dude, right? So as I'm going the other way, I look down. I see the other dude down there. He on the phone. You see what I'm saying? Now, when he see me on the phone, and he done seen the argument or whatever. So when he see me coming down the tier to go back down there, he done hung the phone up and he done ran down to the end of the tier and jumped up on the first tier and climb on up there too. So now they both up there talking, which makes me even more paranoid. So I'm like, man, what, you know what I'm saying? So like I say, it's a crazy dynamic to be in. It's a crazy situation because, you know, it ain't no other word for it. You scared. I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't know what's going to happen. But I know I'm pushed against the wall. I know what I'm going to do. You see what I'm saying? So I'm scared about what I'm going to do, and I'm scared about what could possibly happen to me because I don't know the dynamics of prison. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what they plotting. I don't know who with them, who their friends is. It could be the dude next to me. It might take off on me or something. So I'm just like super annoyed, man. I want to get back in my cell so bad, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out here, and that's what it got to be. So, man, I see him talking, man. My eyes was on them like radars. When they finish talking and they break up, one go this way, one go this way, I'm trying to figure out which one to watch. I'm watching both of them, but I'm watching everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember the old dude, he called me there, PI. You know what I'm saying? The dude I got the joint from, he asked me what was going on. I told him what the situation was. He asked me who was it. I told him. He said, man, them dudes ain't nothing but some chumps, man. You know what I'm saying? You done stood your ground. They ain't gonna do nothing to you. They just faking, man. They was gonna try to probably rob you, try to, you know what I'm saying, try to tax you, try to, you know, take the stuff you bought from the visiting room or whatever, because they thought you might have been young, green, something. But when they see you came at them with that thing, they ain't trying to mess with you, dog. He said, they ain't built like that. I know him. You know what I'm saying? He said, I get my door right now, pull up on both of them, tell them to get on about the bit, all three of them. He said, I know the big one too. He's a chump. He said, you know, they just trying to get you. So I'm listening to him, but at the same time, I'm still paranoid. You know what I'm saying? That sound good and everything, but he's like, man, I've been in here X amount of years. I'm telling you right now, man, they ain't gonna do nothing. Then they see you down here talking to me, because I'm out there talking to him in his cell, but I'm still like this. He said, you ain't gotta be paranoid. Ain't nobody gonna come to my cell, bring no drama. They ain't coming to my cell, even if they beefing with you, they ain't coming up here. They know that's disrespect to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to him or whatever. So I stay there and then I chop it up with him, listening to him. He said when he come out, he going to them dudes, he gonna tell them, you know what I'm saying, look, child, ain't going for none of that. You woo, 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 la, la, la. I said, man, yeah. He said, no, I'm gonna do that myself. You know what I'm saying? So when rec was finally over, man, I go back to my joint, I'm walking, man, you know, everybody going to their cell, you know, it's a lot of people moving there, so you got to be looking and everything. So I'm looking, I'm paranoid as I don't know what. So I felt good when I got back to my cell, got in my cell, whatever. You know, when he eventually came out, he came up to my cell, told me he hollered at them dudes, man, them dudes don't want no drama, it was a misunderstanding, So I'm like, okay, ain't relieved me probably just about that much. Because I still, like I say, you paranoid. This is a new environment. This is a new lifestyle for you, man. You don't know what's going on. And then in my mind, I cannot get rid of these demons of what I done already seen. What I done already seen, man. I ain't, you know, when you see somebody get slaughtered like that, man, the first thing you think in your mind is you put yourself in that position. Man, what if that was me? Man, I ain't, you know what I'm saying, how my family gonna feel, man. You know, what they gonna tell my people. And you don't want to be in that position. So, like I say, it changed something in me that made me feel like I ain't gonna never be in that position. If I do be in that position, I ain't gonna be like he was. He ain't even get a chance to fight back. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even get a chance to fight back, and I ain't want to be in that position, man. So, like I say, for the most part, it set my course of how I was gonna do this bit, man. And like I say, those were little minor scrapes, man, minor, you know, things that I was glad they didn't go to the next level, you know. But I was prepared to go there. I was 100% prepared, you know. And I slept in that cell, man, every night, man. The rest of the time I was there, I was paranoid, man. And as time went on, you know, the dudes avoided me. Every time I seen them, I had my eye on them. They avoided me. Ain't say nothing to me. One of them, every time he saw me, he just nodded, kept on going. You know what I'm saying? But I could remember they started doubling up the cells because they was getting ready to close the place down, but they was doing something to one side that had, I don't know whether it has infestation over there or something, but they was doing something to one side which was going to cause them to have less bed space than they had. So they started coming around and coming to each cell and welding another bunk in the cell. Welding another bunk in this tiny baby cell, man. And it was crazy. So that means you was going to get a cell partner. They was telling you was going to get a cell partner in this tiny cell, you know, and you don't know who you going to get. So I remember when they got to my cell, man, they started welding the bed in there, man. You had to be out your cell probably about 2 hours standing out there waiting. They welding the cell. They put another bunk in there. I remember when they finished, I went in there, man, and the other bunk was up there, man, and I'm looking like, man, how somebody gonna fit up in this joint right here? And it was just crazy, man. And after they welded the cell in, man, it wasn't a week later, man, they ended up bringing me a cell partner, man. And I never forget it, man. The cell partner I got, man, they called him Chief, man. He was actually, man, a cool dude, man. He was a cool dude. He was an African dude, man, that came over here, to go to school and to let him tell it, which I believe was true because he ended up showing and proving a whole lot of, like, factual information with photos and other stuff. A lot of what he said had some truth to it. And he said, man, his grandfather was actually a king in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So he was descended from a king. And he had came over here to go to school. They had sent him over here to go to school, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, he's in the family. He has what is it, lineage. I can't say what the word is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But he had a place in the royal family down the line. So they sent him over here to get his schooling. He in New York, and then he back and forth to Virginia because he got in the drug game. So, he's supposed to be in school, but he doing his thing on the side. He done got the drug money. He like getting it. He done met all the little stars and stuff from back in the day, man. The man had pictures of him with Heavy D. Now, you got to remember that we talking the 80s, man. So Heavy D was big. He had pictures of him and Heavy D, LL Cool J, Slick Rick. I mean, him hugged up with these dudes, so I knew he was somebody. He was getting it, you know what I'm saying? That's why they called him Chief, because he said, man, one day I'm going to be Chief, whatever. But whatever, went on, he ended up getting caught with some drugs, man, a lot of drugs, a lot of money, and they gave him some time. He locked up, he in the wall. They put him in my cell, man. He had a thick accent, man. So we used to sit there, man, and chop it up and talk, man. I explained to him who I was. He even brought up the incident. Yeah, he was like, you chase them boys with a knife, man. They know you mean business, man. They know you're not playing with them, them boys. They play them games, man. You chase them, man. I wish you catch them all, and I'm like, yeah, man. I said, man, I just was glad to get out of the situation on what them cats were trying to do. They trying to rhyme me on what they was trying to do. He said, them no mess with you no more, but them know you not play no games, And yeah, man, he was a cool dude, man. We used to sit there and talk, man. He used to tell me about New York. I used to tell him about DC. We was cool, man. He's a cool dude, man. Chief Avenue, man. If you out there somewhere, man, and you still doing your thing, man, and you living, man, holler at me, man. Yeah, I remember him, man. He was a real good dude, man. And yeah, we ended up being sellers for a while, man, until I ended up leaving. I think it was maybe about 6-7 months, man, that I had a celly, and like I say, man, he took on, I believed in him, I trusted him, I knew he was a, solid dude just from being in them close environments with him. He used to always tell me when we went out to see him, man, he said, man, I got your back, man, you don't have to worry about nothing. I said, yeah, well, I got yours too, so that's how it was, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I did the rest of my time on there, man. I chilled with him, man. I ain't talked to too many people, man. Like I say, Tony, Bobby, a couple of other dudes, and that was it, man. Old man P.I., and I ran into P.I. years later as well, but I mostly, like I said, stayed to myself. I was processing this. I was getting the information that I needed to have. I was adapting to my situation, and it was a hard thing, man. I'm telling you, hard thing, man, to realize and come to the understanding that this is how you gotta live. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly how you got to live. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna get no better. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing you can do is pray it don't get no worse, but it ain't gonna get no better. And you got to wake up every day and live like this, man. And that right there, man, is a hard pill to swallow, man. And most people choke on that pill, man. And I almost choked on it. Because like I said, I almost came to the conclusion that I couldn't do it. So it's a mindset that you have to get into, man. It's a frame of mind that you have to set in your mind and lock it in. That, man, hey, I put myself in this situation, man, and there ain't no other way out. The only way out is death. You see what I'm saying? So you got to do whatever you got to do to try to get to that finish line, man. And sometimes, like I say, in my situation, you don't even know where the finish line at, or if there is a finish line. So you really going on faith. You really going on hope. You really going on love of your people from the outside, of love from the people who care about you. Because other than that, you ain't got nothing, man. You ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? But this misery and violence and confusion and larceny every day. Every day. You see? And that's why a lot of people be like, man, this dude came out of prison, he did 10 years, he did 15 years, he did 20, 30, 40 years. He come out here, he crazy, I don't know what, you don't know what he had to go through. You don't know what his mindset had to be. You don't know what he had to endure. You don't know what happened to him in there. You don't know what he had to do to somebody in there. You know what I'm saying? All of these things play a factor. So when I do hear somebody come out and they this way and that way, yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, I look at the situation, but I understand the situation too. You know what I'm saying? I understand the situation as well. You know, so it's different, man. It's a whole lot different. And I salute everybody who came through. I don't care if you did a year. I don't care if you did 2, 3. I know what it took to do it. You know, I know exactly what it took to do it. So I salute you, man, because like I say, it's a fortitude that you have to build up inside you, and it's something that you have to create, and you have to stick with it, and you have to be consistent with it to make people understand, because the system is going to be consistent. It's going to be consistent. You know, consistent misery, consistent violence, consistent larceny. You know, so you going to have to be consistent in your stance and what stance you take and what stance you going to make. And that's what I had to do. And the war taught me a lot, man. It taught me a lot, you know. And I hadn't been to many other places that was as dangerous as it was when I was in there. You know, few that was just right there with it. But the danger in there was ever present, man. It was ever present. It was there all day, every day. Everybody had an attitude. Everybody had the Bethlehem. Everybody act like they did not care. Everybody act like they won't get out. You know, drugs was in there, man. They was selling drugs in little salt and pepper packs, man. I remember seeing it, man. Little salt and pepper packs you might get at McDonald's, man. They used to dump all the salt out, dump all the pepper out, put a little weed in there, seal it back up, and that was a dime sack, man. You know, and I can remember seeing all this stuff. I was like, man, they got it figured out in here the way they gonna do it. They got a whole different lifestyle, whole different system that the world ain't even hip to. They making stoves and cooking food and making heat and making fire and, you know, selling drugs and making liquor and, you know, and it's just, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is, man, and you just got to deal with it, man. And like I tell y'all all the time, man, the only solution, the only remedy to duck this type of life, man, is to value the life that you have right now. Value the life that you have right now, man. I say, man, I remember that song, man, by J. Cole's, man. There's no such life, is no such thing as a life that's better than yours. Because that's your life. That's your life, man. And you may be going through things, you may be going through difficulties, you may be going through trouble, but that's your life, man. And that life right there can get way worse, man, because I promise you, ain't nobody in prison that would not trade places with you. Nobody. Nobody. I don't even know nobody in prison. Even there may be some that exist, but I don't personally know none that don't want to get out. They don't want to get out, man. You know, that's their dream every day. It was my dream to be one day out here in the free world. So, you know, if you out here, man, you already ahead of the game. You already ahead of the game. Only thing you can do now is forfeit and give it away. Only thing you can do is forfeit and give it away, man. So y'all young fellas out there, man, y'all need to know, man, that you in a privileged position. Do not give it up. Do not submit your freedom for nothing, man. You know. But that wall, man, as dangerous as it was, like I say, it taught me a lot of lessons, man. And there's a lot more stories about the wall that I may have went over because I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I never write anything down. I never make a script. I sit down here and I just tell what I think about telling, and I tell it from my memory. But I'm quite sure after this, a lot of other things will pop in my head, so I may revisit this, or I may give y'all some more stories about this place, man, that they call the Wall, 500 Spring Street, cause it was what they said it was, you know. But in the meantime, man, that was my second stop, man. That was my second stop, you know. And maybe it was for a reason, you know. But yeah, from Southampton Receiving to the Wall, you know. And next stop, man, when I left the Wall, the next stop, the Wall, was Augusta. The next stop was Augusta. So next stop, Augusta, man, which was a whole nother can of worms, man, so to speak. But man, like I say, man, and every lesson is a blessing, man. And like I said, I went through a lot while I was in there, but I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to survive. I learned what it takes to survive. I learned what was in me, you know, to survive. So you never know what you can do until you have to do it. You know, you never know what you will do until you actually do it. So you don't know, man. So just like out here in this free world, man, you may think today is a bad day and the day is the worst day of your life, but who says tomorrow can't be the best day of your life? So never give up, man, and never give up hope, man, because if I would have ever did that, you would not even know me right now. I would not be here to tell these stories. So, you know, you got to keep your head down, man, and just keep grinding no matter how bad it get, man, because every day you wake up, man, there's a new opportunity out there for you. You just got to go find it, man, and you got to want it as bad as you want anything else in this world, man. And you know that freedom is the greatest asset that you have right now. Do not submit that to anyone. You young fellas out here, do not be misled. Do not be miseducated. Do not be told that this is man, do your research, man. If you pick up that gun, man, you could do 10, 15 years in prison just alone. You know what I'm saying? Playing with them guns. You know, if you shoot somebody, bro, you can do 20, 30 years in prison. If you kill somebody, you could possibly never get out of prison. These is things that these dudes ain't telling you when they tell you, yeah, go handle that shawty. Yeah, don't let them disrespect you. They not doing it. If they would have did it, they would already be in prison, so they wouldn't even be able to tell you that. Don't be a follower, man. Be a leader, because only you gonna pay for what you got to do, you know. And I'm telling you right now, that penitentiary ain't gonna move. If anything, they gonna build some more of them. You know, don't ever be a visitor, a resident, what you call it, a patron of that. Don't never be that, man. Stay out here, do what you got to do. When times get hard, man, just grind harder. You know, when you can't find a job, look harder. When you ain't got no ends meet, man, do what you got to do. Just stay afloat. But times will get better, man. But don't never throw your life away, man, when somebody else got total control of your life and you don't know what's going to happen from day to day. So, man, that's the blessing in that lesson, man, that I had to learn it the hard way. I had to do, 12,345 plus days to learn these lessons, but I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you so you won't ever have to do it. Pay attention and understand that these are things I wish somebody would have told me while I was out there being stupid, you know. But understand, man, your life is valuable, man. Time is precious. Don't waste it. Make the best of every day that you have, man, and do what you got to do, man, to stay out here in this free world, man. All you young fellas out there, man, potential is in you, man. Don't let it be go to waste, man. Do what you got to do, man, but don't follow nobody but your own mind and your own heart. TBP, man, we off 2022, man. We gonna get it grinding, man. I hope all y'all out there go over to my other channel, man. Bank It Pound, YouTube, man. Pure Deliciousness, man, where we cooking up that good food, man. I just cooked a meal over there on that iron, man. The way we had to cook in there when we ain't had microwaves, it was spectacular. It was delicious. If you ain't seen it, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Go over there to that Pure Deliciousness, man, and see how we was doing things in there back in the day. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to tell a friend, man, to come join this movement. We positive over here. Positive energy, positive movement, and we ain't taking no negative energy. Keep that all to yourself, but we love you anyway, man. TBP stand up. Salute 2022. We off and running, man. I love y'all. Peace. Be safe. Be smart. Make good decisions. I'll see you next time.
The bacon special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.